Alright then, I want to explain you a little bit about the most common sails you're going to find in the center and what you have to look at when you take one of them sails, because that's the most common questions I get here in the center. And we start off with a smaller size sail, and that's normally a wave sail you get at the center. So basically a wave sail, most of the newer wave sails, they have 4 battens, not 5, so they're a little bit lighter. They're also rigged on skinny masts most times. And well, when you look at the wave sail, what is different to a free ride sail, that it's got not so much loose leech. That's the flappy part at the top here, as a free ride sail would have. And now let's just take the most important things when you look at the sail, when you get the trim right. So first of all is the boom height. So most people ask me where to put the boom. And when you have something like that, for example, we here have this little mast feed attached to the boards. So you use that, and then it's pretty easy to adjust the boom. Simply take the sail up, somewhere where there's some space, and the boom should be in between your chest and your shoulders. The more up you put the boom, the more power you have in the sail. The lower you put it, the better it is for movability. But we want to keep the boom in between the chest and the shoulder. If you don't have anything like that, if you don't have a mast device like we have here, then what you can do is sail up, and then you put your arm through the boom. And if the boom is right underneath your what's that called? Armpit. If your boom's right underneath your armpit, then this is about the right height. Okay. Well, the next thing is the trim of a sail, and this, when it becomes a bit more technical. Like I said, something about the loose leech, that's pretty much the downhaul of the sail. So whenever it's windy, you want to have more downhaul. So you want to have more loose leech on the top of the sail, and that makes the sail twisting more. So it's like a pressure valve on your sail. Whenever it gets too windy, the sail will open up and releases the pressure. So windier means more downhaul. And then the other way to trim a sail is through the outhaul. So basically you can adjust, the more you pull the outhaul, the flatter the profile goes, and the deeper the profile is. So again, when you have lighter wind, you want the deeper profile. When there's stronger wind, you want a flatter profile. But what is really important with the outhaul is that you don't pull away the profile of the sail. So if you make the sail too flat, then it won't work anymore. Then the center of effort, we call it, this is where the sail pulls, the sail force acts on, is moving too much. Then you feel every little gust because the center of effort is moving. So basically a good measure for almost all the sails is, if you take the sail from the back here and you push in with your arm just where about the boom clip is, and you push down with a gentle force, and you should be able to touch the boom. And that's about the right tension for a sail. So this one's quite nice. And then another thing, what's quite interesting for most people is where to place the harness lines. So you probably heard about this thing here, like lift the sail up and try to balance it. The center of gravity is not necessarily the center of effort of the sail, especially when you have different winds. If the wind is stronger, the center of effort moves further back on the sail, and if the wind is lighter, it moves further forward. So a very good measure for sails is when you start here right at the mast, and you take one hand, and then you take 1 hand width per square meter of the sail. So this sail will be a 5'2", so we take a little bit more than 5 arm widths to the back. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a little bit, and this is where we place the first strap, and then 1 to 1.5 hand widths apart, we place the second strap, and this is where this is a basic adjustment for the harness lines. And as I said before, if there is strong wind, we want to bring the harness lines a bit further back. So you will move them like maybe 2 fingers further back. A fine adjustment will always be on the water because you don't know exactly where they need to be. And if it's light wind, you move them a bit forward. For the length of the harness lines, when you start with the harness, you want them not too long but also not too short. So a good measure is 1 elbow length. So if you grab the boom here and place your elbow in, this is how long the harness line should be about. When you are more advanced, and that is actually a more modern thing. I've seen a lot of people in the center, coming to center, and they used to very short harness lines, and that's quite a bad habit because you don't give the sail enough room to work with. And so if you have longer harness lines, the sail has more room, especially in gusty conditions, for example. You can give the sail more room and you can work it a lot better when you have longer harness lines. And in order to use long harness lines, you would have a slightly different technique when you use the harness line. So basically, when you're upright like this, a normal stance, you would be quite close to the boom. Especially when you're in a seat harness, you would be quite close to the boom. Now you have a waist harness, for example. You can have a little longer harness lines because the hook is a bit further up. And now if you do like a little crunch to engage your core and put tension on the harness lines, you can actually use longer harness lines and you have more room for the sail. So whenever the sail needs some adjustments, there's a gust coming or whatever, you can give room to the sail as well. All right, that's pretty much it for a wave sail, I would say. So now we come to another sail, which is quite common in the center, and that's a free ride sail, a proper free ride sail. Basically, a free ride sail is made for all sorts of conditions. It should cover a pretty wide wind range, and that's how it's shaped as well. So basically what we have here is quite a big loose leech. So there's a lot of flappy parts here on the top, and that's your pressure valve again. And that causes the sail to be stable during changing winds as well. So what you see with this sail, what you see with the sail off cross, for example, when the sail is powered up, so when there's wind in the sail and you have this nice deep profile, you see the sail is pretty flat on the top, and there's a lot of profile down here. So that gives you the power, and the power is in the bottom of the sail. So whenever you get in the upper wind range of that sail, the sail can breathe on the top and you still have the power from the bottom. So, and additionally on this sail, you have quite a lot of tension on that bottom batten, and that keeps the profile, which makes you also planing through the lulls a lot better. So basically this is everything to a free ride sail, what you have to look at. All right then. One of the last sails, or one of the sails you might have in the center as well, is a proper slalom sail. So what's different about these sails is that you have cambers which shape the profile of the sail. And with this sail, it's a sail of the ultimate. You have 4 cambers which give the profile. And with these sails, they cover a really wide wind range, so you can take quite a big sail for quite strong winds, which make you go really fast. And in order to have control over the sail, you need quite a lot of downhaul. And you will see that what happens when I pull the downhaul here. You see the loose leech on that sail is quite a lot compared to other sails. This is what you need, because anyway the profile, there's quite a deep profile and it's constant over all times, so the center of effort is not moving a lot. And in order to have control over the sail, you need quite a lot of loose leech to let the sail breathe and be able to control it still. All right then. So the last sail I want to show you, which might be available at the center as well, is a freestyle sail, a proper freestyle sail. And even if it's not provided by a center, you probably have your own. And there's quite a lot of things for when it comes to the trim for freestyle sail. And if you look at that sail, that's properly set up now, and that is a 5.2. So when you look at it, there's almost no loose leech. There's almost no flappy bit on the top. on a freestyle sail, and that's designed for it because if you have too much loose leech, you will not be able to tuck the sail properly. So there is not much loose leech, and a freestyle sail therefore is very powerful, and it doesn't cover a too wide wind range as well, so you need more sizes in between. But if you look at it, a freestyle sail is designed to have a lot of power. So when I push in here, you see it's like a balloon basically. So there's a lot of profile, which gives you a lot of power also in light winds already, to get planing early, and also to have the air time when you go for a move. So basically with a freestyle sail, that's it. You don't want it too flat. Whenever you pull all the profile out of a freestyle sail, it won't work anymore, not at all. And the other thing about a freestyle sail is that you want your batten tension, especially the bottom batten here, not too tight, because the sail needs to fold away for a second. The profile down here needs to fold away for a second when you duck the sail. So when you shake it like that, you want the batten to pop to the other side, and that's really important. So don't put too much batten tension here. All the other battens, I mean this one as well, you can loosen up a little bit, but the top battens should be tight in order to have the stability of the sail. And the other thing is boom height. I like it to have my boom a little bit higher, and that's actually what everybody should consider doing, because the sail, you have more control over the sail, and the sail also has more power when you have the boom higher. In the beginning, maybe if you learn your Spocks or Vulcans or something like that, it helps when you push the boom down a little bit, just because you're so bent over and it's easier to grab the boom. But as soon as you get a little bit more comfortable with it, put the boom up and enjoy the power of the sail. All right, that's it, huh?